All right, well, I'm glad everybody's here. Give me a couple, 10 days to recover, but thought we had a really, really good season. There were several goals that we set, and we didn't meet all those. But really proud of the team that I coached this year, really proud of my three seniors, and Chris Perez, Kendall and Cam. Kendall and Cam are going to go down as two of the most decorated players in the history of the program. We won 27 games, fifth most in school history, but we won a tournament championship, which that makes it 3 in a row. It's never been done in our conference. That gives us 8 Mount West championships in the 15-year history of the program. We've got 7 of them in the regime that I've been here, the era that I've been here, and the other one was with Danny when they won the tournament championship at Denver. I thought we made great strides this year, with 5 newcomers and then 4 starters coming back. But I think the biggest thing about our team is that, we played with 1,000-point scorers. In the era that I've been here, we've had 8 1,000-point scorers, which is remarkable. We only have 32 in school history. So I think the biggest thing about our program and why recruiting has picked up, and it was good when before I was the head coach, is that we developed players. And I don't think anybody in their right mind could see that Cameron was going to have the year he had. And I'm very proud of that. Been part of that recruiting process and that development process. And even Kendall and Alex got better and Hugh's gotten better. But just really proud of what our kids did. It's tough because our goal was to win the regular season. And I thought 14-4 would win the regular season. It didn't, So we were 15-3, and it's the most conference wins we've had in a conference season, which was outstanding. But we couldn't get over the hump. Had a chance to win it. Then we won the conference tournament, which was a goal of ours, and that was one accomplished. And then getting back to the NCAA tournament was another big goal. So, I thought our kids did an outstanding job. And that winning 27 games, and we did 5 of those games we played without our starters. And I say 5 because Hugh was hurt in the Kansas game and probably shouldn't have played. And then I set him out, and then Alex missed those 2 games. So really proud of our other guys to step it up. But winning 27 games is good. But, I'm really happy. I thought our guys played exciting basketball. I thought our team was fun to watch. I was really impressed with their maturity and their improvement, not only from last summer, but during the year. And I think we improved. I've hit the ground running recruiting, so you guys know. And, I think my biggest recruiting thing to date was recruiting the players back here. And I think we discount, I don't toot my own horn, but I think we discounted what I've done for the program 6 years before I became the head coach. And my biggest job to date was recruiting those guys to come back and play on this team. Because if those guys don't come back, we don't have near the campaign that we had this year. And that could have been a disaster. And it wasn't. We won 27 games and won another championship. And got back to the tournament. And one of the things we didn't accomplish was advancing. And we got to continue to work on that. But just really proud of the guys. We're going to have 2 guys that I've given releases to. I've released Nick Banyard, and I've released Tim Miles. They've got their releases to go elsewhere. So it just didn't work out. They're great kids. Nick was part of 2 championships and did a lot of good things, but he wants to see if there's something better for him out there, and that's, we just care about what happens with them. Tim, he's going to get closer to home. Just might not have been a really good fit for him, but he's a great kid. He's done well academically, and both of them have. With Alex is exploring his options as far as the NBA. We've sent our paperwork into the league office, and we'll get some feedback on that, and then he'll make his decision. But right now, he's a Lobo, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to support Alex and any of my players on whatever decision they make. And my job is to make an impact and mentor them and do what's best for them. But right now, Alex is he's exploring those options.
Specific to the Alex part of it, a year ago you went through this similar with Tony.
Right.
Tony made the decision who was going to go.
Right.
Alex having another option where he might be able to graduate and transfer. Did that in any way play with how you kind of
No.
advise him at this point?
No. I think Alex is always going to be a Lobo. The only thing I think he'll do is look to go to the NBA. And we did the same thing we did with Tony. And that's why I had the press conference in the year last year with Tony, because I knew after we got the feedback from the league and talking to NBA execs, I knew he was going to be a first-round draft pick. So my job at that point when I first got the job was not to talk Tony back into coming back to school. It was to advise him and support him so that everybody understands that he's got to do this.
So how does that affect, you said you hit the ground running recruiting, how does that affect you not knowing whether he goes or whether he goes?
Well, I think we'll be fine. We've been recruiting all year anyway. I thought we'd have one or two guys that would, that didn't like their role or didn't see their future here, and that's part of it. I'm just thankful those guys have done well academically, and it shouldn't be an APR thing. But we recruited. We've got some kids that we're recruiting, and I'm sure we'll be able to fill those scholarships pretty quickly.
You had put your finger on one thing. What would it be that you have to have?
On recruiting,
Yeah. Players.
I think we just got to get some guys in here who can play at our level. I think our guys are going to develop. I think Deshaun's going to get better. I think Cullen will be better. I think Hugh will be more productive offensively. I think we'll play a little bit faster than we did. But if Alex comes back, we'll play through Alex. Alex is going to be the center point of what we do, and hopefully he can come back and have a year like Cam did. And I'm trying to be very positive about everything. And I think we play through him, and we just kind of fill in spots and go from there.
Coach, getting extended an extra 2 years, you must be excited about that. And at the same time, do you have some other incentives and other things in there? Because you had a heck of a year, I'm sure.
No, my contract stays the same. I'm excited because I've always wanted to be here. It's just funny that I've taken some hits from people texting me and laughing at me because my comment when I've said when somebody texts me and asks me if I had a comment about the article in the paper, I had no idea what they're talking about. The only thing that was sent back to that person was no. I was asked if I have a comment about the article in the paper or in CBS Sports, and I said no. I didn't say no comment. I didn't know what they were talking about because I was in a gym recruiting for New Mexico. And the unique thing about my situation, and you guys know me, I've been around here, I'm pretty open, I'm genuine. I don't have an agent. So I might be the only head coach in the history of the program that doesn't have an agent. So unless it comes through me, there's no discussions about other jobs or anything. So I've always been the coach in New Mexico. If I wasn't going to be the coach in New Mexico, why would I send my son here? And I love it here. I've always loved it here. I've raised my kids here, so it's been a special place for me. So I'm excited about the future. Now we got to get back and continue the program going in upward motion.
Were you contacted, Coach?
No. Nope. Never talked to one program.
Well, I had a second part to it. I was just going to ask you, so you said you do it all yourself and you don't have an agent, so that's it. Because everybody was just wondering if
No, what was said in the paper was I had no comment about the report.
Okay.
I said no, I don't know what you're talking. I basically was saying I don't know what you're talking about. I was asked, do I want to make a comment about the article on CBS Sports, and I said no, I don't know what I don't know what you're talking. I was in a gym. I never saw the article until after the barrage took place. So I don't know what else you want me to.
No, I was going to ask you about the incentives and stuff. There's nothing else?
No, nothing's changed. Everything's the same. Yeah, same contract, 2-year extension, puts me here till 2020, till I guess I'm, 56? Yeah, maybe I'll go longer than that, but I want to be here. I got nowhere else to go.
After 1 year, Coach, you look back on the year, some of the things you didn't anticipate as a head coach you were going to need to deal with, things that you just weren't maybe ready for, those kind of things.
Yeah, paperwork, press conferences, budget, a lot of those things. I thought I was ready. We kind of went through tough times, adjusting everybody, getting everybody adjusted. But, it's different when you have to call timeouts and, you have to change starting lineups and make decisions for your team and how you're planning for your team and, how you're going to travel and what you're going to do. I think, I basically just kept the blueprint that we've done for 6 years and just did the same thing. I didn't change a lot. I changed a little bit on how we handled things and tried to make the guys a little bit looser. I put the names on the back of their jerseys. I let them have Twitter. I didn't do a lot. I don't think we did a lot. I think we did a little bit different. We did a couple things different defensively, and I thought we played a little bit faster. I don't know what our average possessions was, a little bit higher than the year before. But then at the end of the day, we were playing so well inside that I'd slowed down a little thing. You kind of make adjustments during the year, but we'll play a little bit faster, and we'll do some things different next year.
Coach, what's next for Cam and Kendall? Are you getting any feedback?
Yeah, I've been spending the last 7 days just trying to make sure those guys are situated. Kendall's got an agent, so he's taken care of. He won't play in Portsmouth. Hopefully, he gets invited to Chicago, which is big, and I think he'll have a lot of workouts. He's everything I'm hearing. He could get drafted in the second round. I think Cam's anywhere from 45 to 28. But Cam and Kendall both do really well, like Tony did in workouts, because they're going to go into those things. It's a unique situation here. They're going to go into those things, and nothing's going to surprise them. They've seen it all. We've put them through different workouts for our development that basically is what they've done in NBA camps, just because that's what – I was around it for 10 years with the Raptors, and I was in charge of doing all the pre-draft workouts for a long time. So a lot of the development stuff they've seen. Now I'll start working with Cam. I know Kendall's going to finish school and do some things, and then he's going to go to L.A. to work out. But Cam's going to be here till school's out May 15th. And then, we'll start doing some stuff with him next week. And then we start team workouts on the 9th.
You talked about some of the players and the releases and stuff, but
Right.
coaching staff, any changes with coaching staff?
No, everybody will be coming back. Everybody's the same. I was hoping that Lamont would get the job at Montana State because he deserves a chance to run his own program. He's really good, and it didn't work out. So, that's one thing. And then, the Final Four comes up tomorrow. Right now, I don't think there'll be any changes unless, guys get offered a better job or something like that.
And I know you were already asked kind of about your first year, coaching staff as a whole. Were you happy with
Yeah, I thought they did well. I think, it was good for Lamont to come in, and it was an adjustment. You don't talk about it. It's hard to replace yourself. And, Steve and I had we had a great 6-year run, and then you got to find somebody that can replace what you did. And I found that, and I got very fortunate. He told me 3 times he wasn't going to come, and then I convinced him to come. And I thought he was great. I think he's a star in the coaching ranks. I think, I don't know how long I'll be able to keep him here. I think he's excellent at what he does. He's got great character. He's got great integrity. He's great with our kids. He's got a great family. But, I think our younger, Craig's being his first year, and Drew, so those guys are young. I got a young staff, guys. If you look at my staff, they're young. I don't have one guy over 40 except Mike, and he's the op, so he doesn't do a lot. He's not on the floor. So, but all in all, I thought it was good. Anytime you can win 27 games, that's good.
It was definitely an interesting summer last year. You had 2 guys playing World University games,
Mm-hmm.
the Australian tour.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned workouts start tonight, but how much contact can you have with these guys over the summer, and what do you expect them to do on that?
Well, by rule, I can only do 2 hours a week. By rule, and we'll start. Now, that's not counting. They'll get three lifts in the game, but that doesn't count for me. I'll get 2 hours a week on the floor, but it's as 4s. It's as so we get a lot done. It's very beneficial to us because that's been huge for us, and I'm sure it'll help a lot of the guys that didn't play a lot. So, Hugh's going to play with the Australian team this summer, so he won't be here June and July, which is an outstanding privilege for him. And he's going to try to make their Olympic or their national team that Cam's a part of now. So that's really good for Hugh. It'll give him a chance to play a little bit more and go home. So that's always good. It's very hard for those guys, and I think people don't realize it's very hard for those guys to be over this whole time and never get to go home. It's hard. and it'll give chance. I thought Hugh came back really energized and really motivated for the season because he got to go home this summer. So he's on pace to graduate, and I'm going to let him go play June and July back in Australia.
I do want to ask you one more question about the contract extension. I don't necessarily want for you to get inside Paul's head, obviously.
That's hard to get in your boss's
So
head.
just based on the success of this season for you as a rookie head coach, did that success kind of was that deserving of a 2-year extension in your opinion?
Was it
Based on
deserving of?
Just based on your conversation with Paul, is that the impression that you got?
I just they offered it to me and I took it. I mean, I the only thing that I've said over the years is let's don't get discounted on the 6 years I spent here before. I wasn't a new guy coming in. The only thing I can say is if I would have left, you probably wouldn't have had any of these guys here. So you kept a really good team together and won 27 games. So I'm very fortunate for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Love being here, and I got a great boss, and President Frank's been awesome. So, you know, it's just one of those things you roll with the deal. But, you know, I couldn't have scripted any better of a year. You know, maybe we could have won 30 games, but you know, win 27 games. My only concern since I got the job was getting back to the tournament, and that was the only personal goal that I had personally. And you know, I was able to do that. Just we weren't able to advance.
And I do have one more question, if you don't mind, Frank. You'd mentioned at the
You got your Isotopes hat on tonight. They play in Tacoma. I know, but not a home game. I thought I like that.
Yeah, it's probably going to be rained out anyways. You'd mentioned at the top of the press conference, you know, some of the goals that you
Right.
did not mention, and you mentioned not winning the regular season and
Right.
advancing in the NCAA.
Those were two of our goals.
Is there anything else in terms of goals that you were striving for? And didn't
No, we just wanted to have a really good out of conference, and it was, you know, probably the hardest strength of schedule we've had in a while. And we were 9-3, and probably shouldn't have lost one of those games. But you know, you have one of your starters out, and then, you know, one of our goals was to compete for the regular season. But we thought it was going to be 14-4 to win it. We didn't know it was going to be 16-2. So we won 15 games, and it's the most we've ever won in a conference. So, you know, and I wanted those guys to have a lot of fun. But I think one thing that we miss out, I thought the fan excitement was great just because we got great fans. But I thought our guys were a lot of fun to watch. I thought, you know, every game you came to watch, I thought those guys really played hard and they were fun to watch as a team.
Coach.
Yep.
Getting back to Kirk one more time.
Mm-hmm.
His family, you talked about how you want to kind of agree with what the family wants to do and he wants to do.
Right.
But if it's not the NBA and he wants to or thought about maybe going overseas or something, then will you get involved? Because I'm just looking at Kaminsky.
No, I'll be involved. Yeah, I mean, they've been great. I mean, I've talked to him. I've kind of given him his space because the season's over. You know, and he's been in lifting and doing some things. And I've talked to his dad. Like his dad had a birthday this week, and I talked to him on his birthday. But, you know, they're just kind of going through the process. A lot of this process is going to be determined on what we get back from the underclassmen committee. There's a advisory committee that's going to give us a list that says what the 30 teams are saying. And once you get that, once we got Tony's back, then his decision was basically made. And I'm sure they're going to take a lot of that into consideration.
Wouldn't a good example be the Kaminsky kid from Wisconsin? I don't know if anybody here really knew much about him.
No, they didn't. And I know his uncle real well. His uncle was Jim. Yeah, his uncle was Jim Stack that was with the Bulls for several years as assistant general manager. Yeah, I think, you know, it could be a great example. But Alex had a great career here. I mean, he's a 1,000-point scorer. He's like, what is he, 5th in rebounding or 8th in rebounding? Yeah, he's like 8th in our program's history in rebounding. So, you know, it's just going to be depending on what he wants to do. But he's had a great career. Do I think he could have a great year next year? Yeah, I do. I think he could have a Cam year, and those are hard to come by.
Getting back to moving over one chair and taking the head.
Right.
This year, I know you said the paperwork. Other than paperwork, what was like the most surprising thing, or something that you may have thought like, man, this is more challenging than I thought it would be?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me was I didn't just have to call the offense. It's a lot easier going into the game where you're just trying to figure out how you're going to score. But You know, the funny thing is I've been in charge of the offense the whole time we've been here, and we got 8,000 point scorers. I mean, you know, if you want to talk about what I do or what I've meant for the program, I mean, I got 8. There's only 32 in the history. And, you know, that was the hardest adjustment for me because Steve gave me the leeway that all I concentrated on was, hey, how are we going to score? How are we running this offense? And I called all the plays, drew up all the plays out of timeouts. So that's a little different responsibility than when you slide over 18 inches. And then you have to call timeouts, and you got to make sure we're doing the right things in the flow of the game. And that's a little bit different. You know, I was very fortunate that I got to coach 3 summer league teams when I was with Toronto. So it gave me some sort of idea of what I had to do. You know, you have kids that are draft picks and kids trying to make a roster that you're coaching for 3 weeks in the summer. So that gave me a little bit of what it was going to be about. But, you know, it's a lot different walking down that ramp. And, you know, you're in charge of a program. I mean, it's the first time in a long time we've ever been ranked preseason. It's the first time we finished 17 in the last poll before the tournament. So, you know, our program's a top 25 program. And it's my job to continue that, and I think that's why we're able to get the players we are.
And do you think that whole experience stretched you so you can, like, next year you have
Oh, I'm sure it'll help me for next year. I mean, you just try to get better. I mean, my biggest thing is I spent a lot of time this year, and you know, I don't hide it. I spent a lot of time reaching out to people to try to get better. I don't think that I know all the answers. I don't know all the answers, and I think not only as a basketball coach, but as a person, if you don't try to get better every day, then, you know, you're missing out. And I spent a lot of time. I mean, you guys might not have known, but Butch Harmon's sitting with my wife at the championship game. He's the #1 teacher in golf in the world. And I've reached out to people like him to find out, you know, how do you teach? How do you coach? How, you know, and I had great talks with Coach K this year. I had great talks with Steve. I talked to Coach Self. I mean, I reached out to a lot of people that helped me because I just want to try to get better.
Coach, you got 2 guys gone now.
Right. 3 guys.
Or 3, yeah.
Got one in my high school job, so that's good.
And now with 2 guys leaving, does this put you behind as far as the recruiting process goes? Do you focus more on junior college versus high school? How does that work?
No, because I think the guys that we have gone, we've already recruited that. I mean, we got Joe coming in and Xavier coming in. Now there's some 5th-year kids out there that have graduated and can come, and there's some junior college kids, and there's a couple high school kids that people don't know about that we've been actively recruiting, but they got to be the right pieces to the puzzle. You know, I'm going in the next year just trying to be the best we can be, and that's all we've always tried to do every year. And, you know, we've always, you know, it's always – recruiting is a unique thing because you're just constantly doing it because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Talk about your first season coaching your son. What might have surprised you about having him on the team, interactions with his teammates, handling, you know, the outside influences, whatever they were?
Well, I think it's unique because your relationship's a little bit different on the floor because my relationship, and it was hard for us when he was at El Dorado because the only coaching I got to do was when he was done. And he needed me to be a dad then, and that's the way it was with the AAU, and I had to learn that. So, you know, our relationship grew. I think we have a great relationship now. It's unique because you have a lot of dynamics. You have a son in the locker room. You got a son that you're playing. You know, you have other sons that I consider my team, which is 14 of them. But I think our relationship grew out of all the stuff. The unique thing about that coaching here, and it's kind of a funny thing. The guys that took the most heat are the guys that are from here, and that's unique. And you know, I'm sure that's part of it. And I thought both of them handled it well. But you know, I thought Cullen did really good. I don't think he got completely healthy till February. But anytime you're on a top 20 program, and you're the 4th leading scorer on that team, you had a pretty good year. So, but I think our relationship will get better. It's just a different dynamic that you're not used to, especially at this level. It's a lot different being a high school coach and coaching your son in high school than it is at Division I level.
You mentioned the heat. Do you think as his role expands that will increase, or do you think?
To be honest with you, I really don't care. I don't. I mean, the heat was when he came here. I mean, he knew what to expect. I mean, this is a passionate place, and they love basketball. I mean, there's heat on me every time I walk out of this building, and it's because I represent the state and I represent the University of New Mexico, and we got a great program. But I don't understand a lot of it, but that's not for me to decide. All I do is coach, and then he plays.
What did you like about Jacobs?
What's that?
What did you like about Jacobs?
What did I like about Jacobs is that he's a walk-on kid that can play. Yeah, I probably can't say anything.
Oh, because he's not enrolled?
He's not enrolled yet.
Well, how about what's Cam's schedule from?
Yeah, thanks. I don't think I can say anything. Cam's schedule is he's in the process of right now picking an agent, and when he does that, then he's going to start working out next Wednesday, and then he will not do anything for teams till after May 15th. You know, when they do the deadline for the NCAA for the who's in, who's out. And then he'll have Chicago if he gets invited. I think he'll get invited. Not for sure. It's a team-by-team vote. It's 60 players. That'll take place in May. And then hopefully both of them make it, and I'll go up there with them like I did with Tony. They both were invited to Portsmouth, which is in April 14th through the 18th, but they're not going to play. So I think Cam needed a break, and I think Kendall needed a break. So that's their plan right now.
Both did get Portsmouth invitation?
Yes, they did. They both got invited to Portsmouth.
The non-conference tournaments are such a big part of scheduling now.
Right.
You've been a part of that for the last few years, and then you have another one coming up. But is there anything else, home and homes on schedule you can talk about? Or?
USC, we play USC at home. We play at USC at home this year and then go there the following year. And then we have to return the trip for Valpo because we couldn't get – it's kind of a way for Steve to go back and coach. We could go back to Indiana where we're from and play because Indiana wouldn't do a home and home with – I mean, you know, the Indiana schools, we were going to play Valpo. So I got to return that game to Valpo, and then I'm returning the game to Grand Canyon. And then we're trying to get a game with one of the exempt teams that are playing in Puerto Rico, because if I can play a team that's in that Puerto Rico tournament, then it doesn't count to your 30 games. So we're trying to do that for this year and for the Hawaii trip next year, trying to get exempt games. But that's the only games we have right now.
There'll be a lot of scoring that leaves after this team, even if Alex decides to stay and doesn't go to the NBA.
Scoring?
Scoring.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I was like,
so how
yeah,
will the
scoring.
road
That's,
sorry.
no, it's all
I've
right.
been kind of battling.
Yeah,
you know,
bad. I got bad ears. I got bad ears.
But I'm curious, how are some of the roles going to change for, say, Hugh and Dee and Pancake and a lot of guys who are coming back? How are their roles going to be?
Well, I think you guys saw how well Dee played at the end of the year. I think he just kept coming on, and I kind of thought that was going to happen. But I think one thing is going to help Dee is he's going to finally have a spring with us. He's finally going to have a summer with us. So I think his game's going to keep going up a notch and scoring-wise. And then I think Hugh, you know, the one thing if you watch Hugh, Hugh's very methodical. He's very cautious. I think he'll play a little bit more loose because his job was always to get the ball to Kendall, Cam, and Alex. And I think, you know, next year we'll play him off the ball a little bit, kind of like how he played. And that's how he's going to play this summer with the Australian team. He won't play point guard for them. So, you know, hopefully that'll help him and give him a little bit more freedom and look to be more of a scorer. But I like the way Hugh played at the end of the year. I mean, I think, you know, I looked at our bench like in the first half of the Mountain West tournament. I think he shot 8 threes or 8 shots. I was just like, what happened to him? But you know, I think he'll look to be more aggressive in his senior year, and you know, it's one of those things. And then, you know, I think our other guy, I think we'll get a lot more out of Obach, and then we'll see on what happens with Xavier and Joe. And I think Pancake and Arthur will be a part of doing some things that could be productive.
Anything else? I have another question.
Yep.
What is the policy now when you recruit a person? Is he actually told that he's given a 4-year scholarship, or is he only guaranteed 1 year when he comes here?
It's each year.
It's
each year. But both of them have decided to you know, they both basically when I recruit them, you just say, you know, you're going to come here, and you're gonna have a four. But it is a year by year. You have to sign papers every year. Yeah. So neither one of those that's not on us. Both of those guys are looking to go elsewhere.
Do you anticipate any more?
Could. I mean, I don't know. I've had meetings with all the players, but I mean, I don't see any right now.
With basically everybody in the conference done, what's your assessment of the state of the conference now that the season's over?
Fresno's not done yet.
Oh, I thought they played last night.
That's the three, yeah.
He's the only one who can tell you about who's still playing. He's the only one that watches. Yeah. So, you know, if you had to go down, I think UNLV is going to get better with guys that, you know, they got a good recruiting class, but at the end of the day, they got to play. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they got to play games. There's a lot of teams that are they're going to seem better. You know, I think San Diego State will be good. I think UNLV will be a lot better. Wyoming will be good with Nance coming back. Fresno will be good with all their – I mean, I think our league's going to be better next year. I think we got some teams that got people coming back, so it'll be unique. The only thing that's been weird for me is there's been a lot of turnover so far in our league with players leaving and things happening, so that's been the unique thing.
Do you reach out to Leon and Dave when they get their deals? And I mean, what do you think?
I'm happy for them. Happy for them. Good for them. Yep.
So you're
So-
gonna miss all this during the offseason, right?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I kind of got used to it. I mean, you guys helped promote my program. I mean, a lot of you guys I know and I'm close with, and you know, I'm gonna miss coming in here and taking my shots and laughing and, you know, looking at you like I can't believe you asked that question, but no. It's been a learning experience for me, guys, and I appreciate it. It really has. I mean, I know sometimes I'd come here and off the cuff, and I only know how to be one way, and that's real. And you know, I might say things that I'm not supposed to say, but that's how I feel, and you're gonna know how you stand with me. And I'm an emotional guy, but I'm an honest guy, and that's why I didn't want to come in here and say, because I knew it was gonna come up. Well, do we have any people that are leaving? I don't know yet. I don't know. The only way I know how to be is to tell you guys what's going on with my program. And what's that?
So you keep it at 100?
Yeah, and that's all I know how to do. And you know, you know, the only thing is if you want to put the heat on me, I'd rather it be on me than the kids, because they're kids. And the biggest thing is they came to our program to play here. And the biggest thing is let's support them, let's cheer them, let's, you know, do all that. If you have a problem, give it to me. But I had fun. I mean, it was a blast. And I would have never guessed if you would ask me, and I think I talked to Jeff about it, I thought we'd win 24 games. You know, I thought we'd be battling, but to win 27 games and win a conference tournament, you know, the only letdown was, you know, we were right there to win the regular season, and it didn't happen. But, you know, the biggest thing for me was for the guys, and my happiness for the kids was winning that conference tournament, getting them back in the NCAA tournament. So it was a lot of fun.